principal director of the Met Service, Evan Thompson, says despite the system not being over the island, there still could be flash flooding in some areas. He was speaking at the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management press briefing earlier.
Last night at about 11 o'clock, we downgraded the hurricane warning for Jamaica and instead replaced it with a tropical storm warning that continued through the night as tropical storm conditions continued to be experienced across the country. And as we moved to this morning at 8 o'clock, we discontinued that tropical storm warning because we are no longer within the scope of tropical storm force winds that are associated with the system. So as it continues to move away from Jamaica, of course, we expect conditions to be. However, I want to point out that area of showers that extends from the general mass of clouds associated with the hurricane, but extends over western parts of Hispaniola, over Haiti, and all the way to the south of Jamaica. That's the spiral band that is supplying the system with a lot of moisture and energy. And so we see that we could experience some of that activity as the system continues to move northward. So we are still in an unstable situation. We will likely experience more shower activity over sections of the country. We could also experience some strong gusty winds from time to time across the island, but generally we're seeing that conditions are still very unstable. Anywhere across the island could experience some rainfall, but let me show you where the likelihood of most of the rainfall is expected to take place. Because on this picture, we see that the deeper greens over northern parts of the island, north central, northeastern parts of the island, that's where we expect most of the rainfall, about 2 to 4 inches of rainfall, 50 to 100 millimeters of rainfall expected over sections of the island, and that's where we expect that to occur. Over the southern and western parts of the island, we do expect that we will still experience some amount of rainfall as well. Periods of rainfall, outbreaks of rainfall may not be heavy, but we do expect maybe 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. That's 25 to 50 millimeters of rainfall over those sections of the country. So you will still experience some rainfall. We are going to, we have issued our last bulletin where we consider threat to the island from this hurricane. So that was issued at 8 o'clock today. Further information on this system will be communicated, however, by the Meteorological Service through regular news releases, also informing you of the latest position of the hurricane, even though it's no longer a threat to us here in Jamaica. And we'll also be communicating that there is a flash flood watch that's in effect at this time, just in case that we do have those heavy rainfalls occurring over sections of the country. Flash flooding is still a possibility, and so we have a flash flood watch that will be in effect for sections of the country, primarily in the north, where the greater likelihood of heavy rainfall exists at this time.
And the government has And the government has given the all clear following the lifting of the tropical storm warning for the island. Information Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon gave the update a short while ago.
Just issued a release that notes that the government of Jamaica has issued an all clear following the passage of Hurricane Melissa. So we've issued an all clear. That comes after guidance from the Met Service. You heard they're no longer going to be doing any updates, and also in consultation with ODPEM. As a matter, what that means is when we give an all clear, it means that our utility companies should now commence restoration and recovery operations across the island. So crews from the JPS, NWC, NWA, our Works Agents, our Water Commission, and also our telecommunications companies and other critical service entities have now and will be advised to mobilize immediately to restore electricity, water, and communication networks. We're also asking and encouraging entities like our supermarkets, our wholesales, our gas stations, and pharmacies, particularly in those areas that have been less affected. We are asking you to open and allow communities to have access to these essential goods and services. And as always, we continue to ask and remind Jamaicans to exercise caution on the roads, especially where there are downed power lines, debris, or flooding. And so please still be careful, even though we've given the all clear. The all clear is for our utility providers and other important essential providers to do the necessary work to restore service. Some other updates I have. In terms of electricity, 77% of the country is without electricity. There is work that's going to be done to bring that up as quickly as we can, but that is a large number. The least affected areas of Jamaica have been St. Thomas, St. Catherine, and sections of Kingston and St. Andrew. Obviously, we know the most affected areas have been on the western side of the island. In terms of water, there were just a limited number of systems down last night, a little bit over 70, but we have about 700 water systems that were down. Overnight, some of them may have lost power, so we do expect that number to go up, but for the most part, our water systems held up quite well. Turbidity is a concern, and so that may also throughout the day affect water supplies. In terms of our telecoms providers, they are getting assistance from Starlink to use satellite technology to assist many of our individuals and our companies to get back online. I know so many people have said they cannot reach their families in Western Jamaica. That's because of damage to the telecoms infrastructure. As you would imagine, a Category 5 hurricane is catastrophic, and so it would have left significant damage, and so that's why we're not getting communication. I finally got some communication just now from some individuals in Montego Bay, so slowly we're getting some of our systems back up, and you should be able to reach your families, we're hoping, very soon. The other question we're being asked about is the airports. We are working to have Norman Manley up by tomorrow to facilitate relief flights. That's dependent on the assessment that's done today. As we speak, Minister Vaz, or Minister of Energy, Telecoms and Transportation, he is up in one of the choppers. He is assessing the damage at that airport. He's also looking at the Ian Fleming Airport to see if that is an alternative. We will not be able to give any information on Sangster's International Airport in Montego Bay at this time. When we have that information, I will provide that to you. In terms of our roads, the National Works Agency has been given the all clear. They're already out there clearing major thoroughfares as best as possible. Obviously, in Western Jamaica, it may take more. We also know that in the center of the country, in Clarendon and in Manchester, there was a lot of damage, a lot of flooding too. And so they're out there assessing and doing and clearing the roads as quickly as they can.
Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie also sought to provide an update on shelters.
Our shelters is seeing now more than 25,000 Jamaicans. And since last night, more persons have been going into the shelters. And especially in the parishes that have been badly affected, a lot of homes have been destroyed. So persons now are going to the shelters. We are going to be looking at a long-term basis as to how we are going to deal with the numbers. I want to say to all shelter managers, parish disaster coordinators, and to the municipal corporations, no one must be turned back from the shelters. No one. And we are not contemplating in closing any shelters now. Once we have done the assessment and to see which shelters can be closed, we will do so. But for the remainder of this week, no shelters must be closed. All shelters must remain open. We are now going to be moving, working now closely and based on the direction that has been given, to start now to position ourselves to start to have relief supplies going out to the various areas once those areas can be reached. It is not going to be an easy road, Jamaica. We have seen the extent of the damage. It is going to take a lot of time. I know that person's patience is not going to last for much longer, because when you are in need, persons want us to break the rules. While we are prepared to do everything to accommodate speedy response, we also have to be mindful of the protocols that exist and the fact that we have to be accountable, and we don't want to be accused of doing anything that is not within what the law requires us to do. I am quite sure that persons have waked up this morning wondering what their future will be like. As I said yesterday, the government is here. We are committed. We have already started to put the necessary things in place, and within the next couple of hours leading in tomorrow, you will see a lot more, and by late this afternoon into tomorrow, a more comprehensive report on the status of the country and where we are will be provided. But I can also assure you that during the day, if it needs be, we will provide information as best as possible.
Acting Director General of the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM Richard Thompson, said the situation in Western Jamaica is of major concern to the authorities. We've heard reports of members of the JDF and JSF conducting rescue missions in St. James following the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa. There are also reports of residents being trapped by rising floodwater in the parish.
So coming out of the western side that the system made landfall, we are seeing extensive damage on that side. St. Elizabeth, St. James, and throughout the night last night, we were trying to mount rescue operations in Montego Bay. Montego Bay is underwater. And so we were trying to, what we were getting information coming out of Montego Bay, people were on rooftops, Bogue, Catherine, all those places were underwater. Still this morning the fire brigade is out trying to, just to rescue people and see how best we can assist down that side.
Yep, I asked sorry, Richard. I asked the Prime Minister, as far as you have heard, have we lost anyone?
No, not as yet. We have not, and I am hoping that it holds that way. We have not received any reports of any death just far. Okay. And as I said to my team in here last night, I am really hoping and praying that we don't have anyone coming out of those major impacted areas that has lost their life.
Yeah, we keep hearing about the really badly hit areas, which is in the west, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland. But I remember after burial, someone gave me a hard time on the road because they said, boss, when I go like I just them people get licking on my house, wash your Portland and this, that, and the other. What about the other areas? Because I know that's not the only area that was terribly hit. But what about the other areas? Did we get anything really, really terribly in other areas in Jamaica?
So we not that we have heard of thus far. So you'll appreciate that. In the heights of the system, you will get some report coming in, but when you start getting blue skies, then you see a better picture. So not what we have heard of. We have done checks in the east. We have officers pre-positioned in the eastern side as well in Portland. It was just to coordinate the activities in the eastern side. We have not received any major impacts that side thus far in terms of what we have received. Remember that could change as the information start coming in and we can see better what is happening out there. Yeah. There are areas in St. Thomas that we normally get flood.
Okay, that's Richard Thompson, the Acting Director of the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM. We're going to take a quick break now. When we come back, we'll have much more on the recovery efforts and what's been happening in some of the other areas. We're going to look at St. Elizabeth, Manchester and Hanover.
Clips and More Auto has the clips you need for your vehicles guaranteed. So don't waste time driving around searching to find those hard-to-get clips. Just call the clip specialist. We also have new in stock rain visors for Toyota Hiace, Fielder, Axio, and lots more. So now you know. What are you waiting for? Visit us at 18 Cargill Avenue, Kingston 10, or find us on Facebook and Instagram at Clips and More Auto. Remember, it's not too late until it's too late.
Hello, I'm Sheena. I'm Melanie.
I'm Elan. I'm Burkan.
I'm Cedron.
And I'm Anna. Join us on the last Thursday of every month at 8:30 p.m. right here on TVJ for Inflation Watch, brought to you by Bank of Jamaica. That's Inflation Watch, where we discuss the factors influencing price changes in Jamaica. Keep watching.
Faith that moves mountains. Mountain Moving Faith. Tune into the Mountain Movers program with Pastor Michael Carter every Saturday morning at 6 a.m. right here on TVJ. Brought to you by the Celebration Church, located at Lot 1E Portmore Skating Rink, behind the Portmore Mall. Telephone 876-467-1527. Join us for the Mountain Movers program, Saturdays on TVJ.
Black Friday Frenzy, November 27 to 29. Don't miss out. Sign up your store today at www.bffjamaica.com.
Good morning. Welcome back to our continuing coverage of Hurricane Melissa and Milton Walker. One of the areas that many persons are concerned about, and the government is reopening of the airports. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz toured the Norman Malley International Airport this morning. Is currently on his way to the Sangster International Airport, and this is what he had to say at the Norman Malley International Airport.
Operators of the Norman Malley International Airport, our government apparatus, which includes customs, immigration, the police, and other stakeholders. I'm happy to say that we have gotten away with minimal superficial damage in isolated areas. From all indications, after discussions with the JCAA and AAJ and the operator, that we should be in a position to get the airport back reopened as early as this afternoon. They will finish their assessment and report back to me within an hour, hour and a half, and the country and the world will be told. That is immediately for relief flights, which we have a number of requests pending, and secondly, commercial operations. I've indicated to them that that is priority. There are people that we need to get out. There are people who are here stuck as tourists, and locals who are here on vacation that want to go back, and there's a lot of anxious Jamaicans and other persons who want to help, that want to get in. So the objective and the mandate of the government to the operators and AAJ is to give me the good news this afternoon. We are now moving on to Montego Bay, because that's where the majority of the damage has been to the airport and other areas and parishes around. And that is going to be critical to the recovery based on the distance that will have to be traveled from relief flights landing in Kingston and the stuff being needed for Western parishes. So again, I'm hoping that later today I'll be able to indicate that at least we can open Montego Bay for staging for relief flights as a start. But that is only the start. The instruction and mandate by the Prime Minister is to open back as quickly as possible. Ian Fleming International Airport also will go there today, and hopefully we'll be in a position to also announce the reopening of full operations there in short order. I just want to say to Jamaica and the rest of the world that we will be able to receive relief flights, both flights and also by sea in short order, and therefore we will be open to start the recovery in earnest. Look forward to all of Jamaica, all hands on deck, so that we can rebuild and especially help those who are suffering at this time.
Okay. Transport Minister Darrell Vass speaking after touring the Normal International Airport. St. Elizabeth was one of the hardest hit parishes from Hurricane Melissa on Tuesday. Mayor of the capital, Black River, Richard Solomon, along with commanding officer for the parish, Superintendent Coleridge Minto, providing an update.
We're here in Black River, the capital of St. Elizabeth. I don't even know where to start. The conditions here are devastating. Catastrophic is a mild term based on what we are observing here. We are immobile. Thank God for JCF, they have the Starlink, we are able to do some amount of communication. The hospital is totally devastated. When I say we are immobile, the police units are down. All the units at the EOC center are down because they would have been covered with water throughout the hurricane. So at this point in time, we are unable to do any rescuing, we are unable to respond. So we are trying to let everybody know that the situation here is devastating. We need all the help that we can. And conditions are going to deteriorate as the day progresses because persons are feeling it already. It is a frustrating time, but we are appealing for calm as we try to respond as best as possible. So if you have anything you would want to?
No, I think may have said it best. The conditions certainly in the Black River area and what reports we're getting from the south side suggest that the parish is significantly impacted. A number of the buildings that we would have walked around, in fact almost all the buildings, major infrastructure, the parish church, the courts office, the tax office, the parish council office, all damaged, and the furniture inside of the court store, the supermarkets, the bakery, everything has been washed away by flood waters. And so the situation is in fact very bad at this location. We were able to allow some of our relief items. We assisted some persons with water from the hospitals, some of the nurses and doctors, but we don't have sufficient. The little we had, we shared it with them and some of the food items that we have. And so there is need, urgent need for support to certainly the parish capital and other areas in the parish that have been severely impacted by Hurricane Melissa.
I just want to add to that that we would have had relief supply in storage in a container totally wiped out. The system would have destroyed our storage facility at the corporation. The container is upside down, everything damaged. So as it relates to relief items, we are not able to assist at all. So we need all the help. So we're appealing to ADFEM, Prime Minister, we're appealing to NGOs, all hands on board. We need all the help we can get here at this point in time.
And over in Manchester, communications remains an issue. However, a number of areas within the parish have been gravely affected by Hurricane Melissa. Our reporter Ramado Lyons is there now and joins us with the latest. Ramado?
For the first time in 2 days, it's quiet in Manchester. I'm in Mandeville to be exact. I will be heading out to those affected communities soon, but I just wanted to give you an update before we do that. It's quiet, as I said. There's no rain beating on roofs. There's no wind threatening to destroy buildings. It's also been a very sunny morning, which is unusual considering the past few days. It was a bit sunnier than this until it became a bit overcast, but it's expected to be a dry day. We can leave the raincoats inside for a change. The water boots though remain on, as we know some communities are flooded. I can also give you an update on this road which leads to the Hanover Regional Hospital. Yesterday I would have reported that it was impassable. Today it's cleared. The water has run off, the vehicle that was stuck is also gone, and as you can see, motorists are able to traverse the area. I spoke to a few people just now who are just happy to be out, happy to head home and assess the damage on their properties.
I am an operating room technician. I work at the Hanover Regional Hospital. I am here from Monday 5:30 Monday evening. I'm just getting a chance to go home due to the inclement weather, but I'm happy to go home now to check to see my home to see how things is going. So I just get a chance to leave now.
I was in Libya, cleaning up there and get the place together. Getting ready for the staff and the members.
So what was the damage like there?
Just a tree and the breeze. No done.
Any broken glass, anything in terms of damage to the building?
No broken glass. I'm still in top building. And some of the roof went down.
So when the staff gets there today, they should be able to go in easily, or the building cannot be used as it is right now?
No, I can't use till next Monday when everybody comes from the place. So I kind of break down.
Alright, so you were at a shelter during the passage of Hurricane Melissa. What was that like for you?
Rough, man. Because I live from here, so to go home and the rain came now. So I have to go to shelter. So I have to go back over there.
And you say you left the shelter this morning to come to the hospital?
Yeah, to my pump and they get me medicated.
So you haven't seen your house to see if it was damaged or anything?
Yeah, they get damaged. I go down there.
Oh, yeah, one of the flood-prone areas.
Yeah.
So were you affected during burial?
Yeah, me drop the floor, but minute more to get home, but to get that near the home. So they know what I'm going. And they pull it down, so I will stand.
At least one family in Hanover will have to start over after total devastation from Hurricane Melissa. Our reporter Kimberly Petty has this story.
I am in Phoenixtown, Hanover. Behind me, as you can see, is a house that would have collapsed. So TVJ News understands that there were 4 persons living in this, which was once a dwelling. 2 children, one 13 years old and the other just 1 year old. So looking at the equipment and all the things that would have been in this house, the furniture, I am seeing, spoke to the owner of this dwelling and she gave us further details as to what would have transpired.
Disaster, house gone, fire gone, my shop front, the house front on us again gone off.
Where were you when the house collapsed?
Now I'm building up there, sir, for my son.
Is it that you were worried that it would collapse, so you would have evacuated and went to your son's house?
Yes. Yeah, man. We know trying to move out, you know. So we have to move out.
What you heard while Hurricane Melissa was making landfall yesterday?
But I'm not going to make them the sound. I said no rain. I'm brave.
Were you scared?
Yeah. Everybody have been scared.
So when you came out and saw that your house was flat, talk to me yourself.
You must feel it. Yeah, man, I feel it say gone, you know. Yeah,
How
man.
many persons were living in the house?
3, 4.
Any children?
Yes.
How many?
2.
So you're saying to go back to school anytime soon, you will need some help?
Yes.
What age group?
13. And 1.
So give me an appeal, to the country, to the government. What do you want to start all over?
Why, you don't want back money to build back one house?
Melissa really deal with the wicked and drastic around here, you know. You can see it. Road black, you can't even get to go where we go. Black in and out right now.
In all its glory here in Phoenix Town, Hanover. But the residents are not shining at all as they are devastated by what would have transpired yesterday into last night. Many have lost their homes, many have lost their livelihood, and so they're looking at how they will pick up the pieces and continue with their lives. Reporting here in Phoenix Town, Hanover, I am Kimberly Petty for TVJ News.
Okay, just want to give you some updates. It's difficult to get material out of those devastated areas. We're going to show you, I think we have one live camera that is up. I think this one is in downtown Kingston in West Parade. So, you know, commerce slowly returning back to normal. That's West Parade looking towards the Coronation Market there. And I think the Jubilee Market is right there to your right. We expect, you know, activity there to pick up over the next few hours and certainly later today into tomorrow. So that's the scene in West Parade in downtown Kingston. A lot of the cameras are down. You know, there would have been a lot of wind and rain over the last few years, and also power, the lack of power. So we're gonna go to Mandeville. This is a house on off Ward Avenue that we're gonna show you now. In Mandeville, it sits between two main roads, Ward Avenue and Greenvale Road. And this is the situation. You see the watermark on that van, how high the watermark. Look at that, where the water is in relation to the roof of that house in the background. Yeah, people I think escaped from that house. This was the house that the Jamaica Fire Brigade had to go and rescue a family from this compound, but it's covered. It's part of the property. One house is totally submerged. All you're seeing is the roof, right? And in this part, you can see the water is receding somewhat because it certainly had covered much more. And I know the water, I think, was above where the grill is. It was just above there yesterday, as you can see on the wall, the watermark, how high the water was. So water is coming, and it's going to be slow before this body of water releases. And of course, the other concern is you're going to have mosquitoes over the next day or two coming to set up residence, as these pesky creatures like to do. But this is one real area of devastation. I want to tell you that Chief Curry from the Maroons, he said several homes were destroyed in Akampong and adjoining districts. He says there's no power, no communication, and no roofs on many of the houses. That's a report from Chief Curry in the Maroon Chief Curry. He said in Akampong, that's in St. Elizabeth, by the way, in Akampong and adjoining districts, there's no power, no communications, and several homes have lost their roofs. If we could show that the drone shots that we got from St. Elizabeth again, O'Shane, this is just tells you how bad it is in St. Elizabeth. It's just utter devastation, and of course we're seeing the houses. Many have lost roofs, and of course windows have been blown out. The trees have been badly damaged. A lot of these are fruit trees as well, and of course St. Elizabeth, the bread basket, lots of crops gone. Not seeing much water settling, but I'm sure in other parts there's still water that's flooded farmlands. This is just acres and acres that are just devastated property. You do see some homes with the reinforced concrete roofs that are still there, but by and large, a lot of homes have been badly damaged. The roofs are gone. Other parts badly damaged as well. Doors blown out, windows blown out. We do hope the people who lived in these homes, and many of them would have been there, some may have gone to shelters, that they would be safe. But St. Elizabeth, once again, just like last July when Hurricane Beryl struck, that in early July, that this parish was badly hit, and again Hurricane Melissa has also badly impacted that parish. All right, we're gonna end right now, and we're gonna come back at the top of the hour with midday news, and we'll have more information to give you. It's difficult to get material in. We have some fresh crews which have gone out to try and get material. We're hoping to get some from Montego Bay, Trelawney, St. Anne, more from Hanover and Westmoreland, and of course St. Elizabeth and Manchester and Clarendon. All right, I'm Milton Walker. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned to TVJ. We'll be back at the top of the hour with a comprehensive package in midday news.